Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanu Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyam Rupamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Karuniyam Yugacharya Narayanam Vancha Kalupataruvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha. Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismiraha Saramurali Manohara Radhikara Shikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradhatama Shri Guru Pada Padma Nitalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtotara Sata Srimadi Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, and to my most worshipable Shiksha and Sannyasa Guru Nitalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotara Sata Srimadi Shila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. Text 18. The 6 kinds of association that nourish bhakti are described in the 4th verse of Sri Upadeshamrita. Dadati pratigrihinati guhan kyati prichati bhunkte bojayate chaiva sadvidam priti lakshanam. Offering pure devotees items in accordance with their requirements and accepting the prasadam, remanent items given by them, revealing to devotees one's confidential realizations concerning bhajan, and inquiring from them about their confidential realizations, eating with great love the prasadam given by devotees, and lovingly feeding them prasadam. These are the 6 kinds of association that symptomize love and affection. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva, Bhajana Rahasya. This text describes the visible symptoms of the affection that nourishes devotion, or in other words, affection for pure devotees. Bhakti manifests by associating with Sri Bhagavan's devotees, but one should be careful to associate only with pure devotees. One should never keep the company of and reciprocate with those who are gross sense enjoyers, those who desire liberation, or those who want to enjoy the fruits of their actions. Bhakti will be destroyed by the fault of associating with them. One should also not hear anything from them about the confidential aspects of bhakti, and one should not accept food that has been touched by them. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila 6:278 confirms this. Vishaira ana khaile malina hoy man, malina mone hoile nahi Krishnera smaran. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, when one eats food offered by a materialistic person, one's mind becomes contaminated. And when the mind is contaminated, one is unable to think of Krishna properly. On the other hand, loving exchanges with devotees who are like-minded, more advanced than oneself, and affectionate to oneself, Swajati Snigdasya, enhance one's devotion. So in this way, Srila Gurudev is very clear. First of all, he explains that although association with devotees in general are favorable, it is best if it is the association of a pure devotee. And the best is even if this pure devotee, his swajati is nigdha towards us, means he is affectionate towards us and he's also in the same mood, he's like-minded. So this is the ideal perfect situation that every Vaishnava wants. But of course, this is not possible always to have. So in this way, Gurudev says, okay, at least you should associate with those who are more advanced than you, so that you can continue progressing. So at least you should associate with a Madhyamadikari, because Madhyamadikari can help you to become also Madhyamadikari. So you have to understand that in Bhakti there is a secret of progress. In whichever level you are, when you help other devotees to come to your level, automatically you also progress to a higher level. So the more you share what you have learned, the more you are advancing. So in this way, this is a type of mechanism that will inspire everyone to always preach, to always engage in propagating Krishna consciousness. Now text 19. In Sri Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka 888, Sriman Mahaprabhu has prohibited one from even seeing a sense enjoyer or a woman. He says, Alas, for a renunciant who is devoted to Bhagavad Bhajan and who desires to cross the ocean of material existence, it is worse to see sense enjoyers and women than it is to drink poison. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva, Bhajana Rahasya. Persons who desire to cross the ocean of material existence, as well as renunciants intent on Bhagavad Bhajan, should avoid those who are attached to sense enjoyment and the association of women. The company of people in these two categories is more fearsome than drinking poison. Sri Raghunatha Das understood Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hint and thereafter refused to accept the money his father had sent him, understanding that it was more auspicious to accept alms. Sriman Mahaprabhu abandoned Chota Haridas for life because he associated with a woman. Therefore, in Prema Vivarta, Jagadananda Pandit says, if you want to associate with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you must always remember the incident of Chota Haridas and how he was rejected by the Lord. So in this way, Srila Gurudev gives two examples, one of Chota Haridas and one of Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami was accepting money from his father, which was considered to be like a Vaishnava pride. So although he accepted the Vaishnavism, he was still behaving like a materialistic person. So by receiving that money, it means he was associating with his father. So in this way, he understood what was Mahaprabhu's advice and he stopped accepting the money. And he began to beg for food on the streets instead of buying food with the money his father was sending. And Chota Haridas, unfortunately, he went to the house of Madhavi Devi to collect some donations. And there was a young maidservant that he was attracted for. Then, because of that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected him because he should never have gone there to have the association of this young girl. So this is the association with those who are attached to women. Both should be avoided. Now text 20. It is forbidden to judge a transcendental Vaishnava from a material viewpoint. Shri Upadeshamrita verse 6 states, Drishtoi swabhava janitair vapushascha doshair napraktatvam iha bhakta janasya pashyet gangam vasam nakalu budbudapena pankair brahmandravatmam apagachati niradharmai. Devotees who are in this material world should not be considered material. That is, one should not consider them ordinary conditioned souls. Imperfections seen in their natures, such as birth in a low caste, harshness, or lethargy, and the imperfections seen in their bodies, such as ugly features, disease, and deformities, are precisely like the appearance of bubbles, foam, and mud in the Ganga. Despite such apparent pollution of her water, the Ganga retains her nature as liquefied transcendence. Similarly, one should not attribute material defects to self-realized Vaishnavas. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya Vritti. The instruction of this text is that it is improper to consider pure devotees to be material or to see material defects in them. They may have defects in their bodies or natures, but it is impossible for pure devotees to fall into bad association or commit namaparad. The water of the Ganga is considered to be pure, despite the appearance of bubbles, foam, mud, etc., for its nature as liquefied transcendence is never lost. Similarly, self-realized Vaishnavas are not contaminated by the birth of the material body, nor by its deterioration. Therefore, one who is intent on performing bhajan should never disrespect a pure Vaishnava, even if these defects are apparent in him. The remaining imperfections of a Vaishnava are quickly removed, and if someone even looks for them, he becomes an offender. So here, Srila Gurudeva, he explained two aspects. The first is that a pure devotee, he may externally present some type of defects, but those defects are not real. But at the end of his commentary, he says that if a Vaishnava is very advanced, and he may be even realized, but still he has some imperfections, it will be quickly removed, and he will become completely pure. This is called two types of Mahabhagavatas. One who was always perfected, who is Nitya Siddha, although he may present some imperfections due to the human-like pastimes. They are not imperfect, they are always perfect. And the other Mahabhagavat is the one who is ascending from his sadhana to the position of Mahabhagavat. But still, he has some imperfections, and those imperfections are going to be destroyed very, very quick. Now text 21. Srila Raghunatha Das Goswami states in Srimana Shiksha 7 that one should give up the desire for prestige and the wickedness of deceit and hypocrisy. Pratishta shadrishta swapacharamani meridhi natit. Katam sadhu premas prishat suchiritam nanu manaha. Sadatvam sevasva prabhu daita samantam atulam. Jatatam nishkaya tvaritam mihatam vishayati saha. Why does deceit not go away even after one has given up all material sense enjoyment? This verse has been composed in order to remove this doubt. O mind, tell me, how can pure divine love appear in my heart? You, O mind, are my heart. As long as the shameless outcast woman of the desire for prestige is audaciously dancing there. Therefore, without delay, remember and serve the immeasurably powerful commanders of Shri Krishna's army, the very dear devotees of the Supreme Lord. They will quickly chase away this outcast woman and initiate the flow of pure Braja Prema in my heart. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya Vritti. The desire for prestige is called Pratishta Asha. Although all other anarthas may be dispelled, the desire for Pratishta is not easily removed. The desire for prestige is the root of all anarthas. All kinds of deceit and hypocrisy arise from it and are gradually nourished by it. The Swanishta Sadhaka is someone who is virtuous, benevolent, sinless, a renounced devotee of the Lord, and a learned scholar, and so on. Therefore, as long as the desire for prestige remains in the heart, one is unable to drive away deceit. And until one becomes free from deceit, one cannot obtain immaculate divine love. In other words, if deceit remains, one does not attain prema for Shri Krishna, which is endowed with a sense of great possessiveness and which makes the heart melt. So while here, Gurudev is saying that the desire for fame is the root cause of deceit and hypocrisy. Because the person who is seeking for fame will be able to do anything to reach that post. So he's able to cheat, he's able to lie, he's able to make conspiracies, he's able to do anything just to achieve the maximum fame. He'll be able to do politics, he'll be able to even harass his own god brothers, he'll be able even sometimes to try to control his own guru. So therefore, the desire for fame will destroy the person. So service to pure Vaishnavas is the only means to dispel anarthas like wickedness, deceit, and hypocrisy. The rays of the Ladini Shakti are to be seen in the hearts of pure devotees, pure Vaishnavas. These rays are transmitted into the heart of a faithful sadhaka, where they dispel these anarthas and manifest Braja Prema. Always serve the immeasurably merciful and powerful commanders of Sri Nandanandana's army, his beloved devotees. The embrace of pure Vaishnavas, the dust from their lotus feet, the remnants of their prasadam, the water that has washed their feet, their instructions, and so forth, are all fully competent to transmit Ladini Shakti into the heart. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antalila 16:66-1. Bhakta pada duli ar bhakta pada jal, bhakta bhukta avashesh aitin mahaval, aitin seva hoite Krishna prema hoy, puna puna sarva shastre pukharya koy. So, this verse explains that the feet dust of the Vaishnava, the water which has washed the feet of the Vaishnava, and the remnants of his Mahaprasada, these are the greatest treasure of our lives. All these three have so much potency. They are being called as Mahabal. They have so much power. And this power means this Ladini Shakti, Ladini potency. So all the scripture says that these three things can give you Krishna Prema. But Srila Gurudev even says more. Gurudev says that even the embrace of the Vaishnava can also transmit Ladini Shakti, Bhakti. And of course, the remnants of their Mahaprasad also means not only the food, but Harikatha, his instructions. So in this way, we should always seek to access all these things because they are surcharged with so much Bhakti for us. So text 22. Srimana Shiksha number 6. Are cheta pradyat kapata kutinati bharakara. Sharam mutri snatva dahasi katang matmanang mapimam. Sadatum gandharva giridhara pada prema vilasat. Shudham bodho snatva sammapini taram cha sukhaya. In spite of having subdued the enemies of lust and anger, one may not have conquered the great enemy of deceit. This verse instructs us how to gain victory over this powerful enemy. O wicked mind, although you adopt the path of sadhana, you imagine yourself purified by bathing in the trickling urine of the great donkey of full-blown deceit and hypocrisy. By doing so, you are simultaneously burning yourself and scorching me, a tiny jiva. Stop this. Delight yourself and me by eternally bathing in the nectarian ocean of pure love for the lotus feet of the divine couple, Sri Radha Krishna. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya. The abundance of deceit and hypocrisy that are clearly evident in a sadhaka, even though he has adopted the path of sadhana, are compared to the urine of a donkey. Considering oneself intently engaged in bhajan while remaining devious and hypocritical is like considering oneself pure after bathing in the filthy, burning urine of a donkey. The duty of a sadhaka is to carefully abandon these bad qualities. There are three kinds of bhakti sadhakas: swanishtha, parinishchita, and nirapeksha. So the hypocrisy that can be demonstrated by each of them is described below. The swanishtha sadhaka is a householder devotee who serves Sri Hari and completely abandons the rules and prohibitions prescribed within Varnashram. The deceits of such sadhakas are to indulge in sense enjoyment on the pretext of sadhana bhakti. To serve wealthy and influential materialists instead of unpretentious devotees, to accumulate more wealth than necessary, to be enthusiastic for futile temporary enterprises, to indulge in false doctrines, and to adopt the dress of renunciant in order to obtain material prestige. Then the Parinishchita Sadhaka is a householder devotee who serves and worships the Supreme Lord according to rules and regulations. His deceit is that externally he makes a show of strict adherence to rules and regulations, means parinishchita, but inwardly he remains attached to material objects. He also prefers the association of jnanis, yogis, philanthropists, and materialists to that of resolute, loving devotees. The deceit of the nirapeksha sadhaka, means the renunciant, is that he maintains pride by thinking himself to be the topmost Vaishnava. He adopts the dress of a renunciant and due to false ego regards other sadhakas as inferior. He collects wealth and other material assets. He associates with women and materialistic people. He collects wealth in the name of Bhajana. He is overly attached to the external dress and rules of the renounced order, and thereby weakens his affection for Shri Krishna. A person should give up all this deceit and immerse himself in the nectarian ocean of pure transcendental pastimes that is born of prema for the lotus feet of the divine couple. The prayers expressed in the writings of Srila Rupa Goswami and others in our disciplic succession point the sadhaka in the proper direction. One should take guidance from these prayers and perform sadhana while remembering within the heart the divine couple's eternal eightfold daily pastimes, Ashtakhalya Lila. So we have these three types of hypocritical devotees, two types for householders and one type for renunciant. So, and at the end of the commentary, Gurudev explains, how can we remove this hypocritical tendency from our hearts? By reciting the prayers written by our acharyas, especially by Srila Rupa Goswami. What are the prayers? The ashtakams and the other songs that they have written. They are full of spiritual power that can clean our hearts. So we have to daily practice singing. That's why our Guru Varga, they have written all these songs. This is for us to practice. And as you become more and more qualified, when hypocrisy will leave your heart, then you'll be able to meditate in Ashtakhalya Lila. Now text 23. The 10 offenses to the holy name, which should be given up without fail, are described in the Padma Purana, Brahmakanda, 25, 15 to 18. They are also quoted in Hari Bhakti Vilas 11, 521 to 524. So first, Namaparada. To criticize the devotees of the Supreme Lord is a grievous offense to the holy name. How can Sri Nama Prabhu tolerate criticism of those great souls who are deeply devoted to him and who spread his glories throughout the world? Therefore, the first offense is criticism of sadhus and devotees. Second, in this world, a person who by mundane intelligence distinguishes between the all-auspicious, transcendental holy name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Sri Vishnu, and the possessor of the holy name, Nami Vishnu, considering them to be independent of or different from him, as is the case with material objects, commits an offense to the holy name. Furthermore, one who thinks that Lord Shiva and other demigods are independent of Sri Vishnu or similar to Sri Vishnu certainly commits Namaparada. The third, Guru Ravagya, to disregard the Guru who is established in all the truths regarding the holy name, considering him to be an ordinary man possessing a perishable body composed of material elements. Fourth, Shruti Shastra Nindanam, to find fault in the Vedas, the eternal Puranas, and other scriptures. All the Vedas and Upanishads illuminate the glories of the holy name. To find fault with the mantras in which the holy name is glorified is Namaparad. Due to misfortune, some persons neglect the Shruti mantras in which the glories of the holy name are indicated. and give more honor to other instructions of the Shrutis. This is also Namaparad. Then fifth, Tathartha Vadha, to consider the glories of Harinam to be exaggerated. The scriptures state that all of Sri Bhagavan's potencies are contained within his name, and that the holy name is completely transcendental, and therefore capable of destroying one's bondage to the material world. All these glories of the holy name are the supreme truth. One should never associate with those who have faith in them, and who say that the scriptures exaggerates the glories of the holy name. If such a faithless person appears before one's eyes, one should take bath, still wearing the clothes he has on. This is the teaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 6. Harinamni Kalpanam, to consider Sri Bhagavan's name to be imaginary. Mayavadis and materialistic Karmavadis consider Brahma, which is without name and form, to be the supreme truth. And they say that the sages manufactured names like Rama and Krishna, thinking such names would perfect their activities. These people are Nama Aparadis. The name of Sri Hari is not imaginary. It is eternal and transcendental. It only manifests upon the transcendental senses, and only through bhakti. This is the teaching given by the bona fide Guru and Shastra. Therefore, one should acknowledge that the glories of Harinam are the supreme truth. One who considers these glories to be imaginary will never be able to receive the mercy of the holy name. 7. One who has a tendency to commit sinful and material activities on the strength of the holy name cannot be purified, even if he performs superficial yoga processes such as yama, niyama, dhyana, or dharana. This is certain. 8. To consider religiosity, vows, renunciation, fire sacrifices, and other ordinary pious activities to be equal with or comparable to the transcendental name of the Supreme Lord is a sign of inattentiveness and carelessness, and is thus an offense. 9. To instruct the glories of the holy name to faithless persons who are averse to hearing and chanting is also Namaparad. And 10. Those who, in spite of hearing the astonishing glories of the holy name, maintain the conception that I am this material body, and that worldly objects of sense gratification are mine, and who show no persistence in or love for the utterance of the holy name, are also Namaparadis. So in the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya he says, skillfulness in Nama Bhajan is to perform bhajan in association of devotees while carefully avoiding these 10 offenses. Now text 24. False renunciation, Phalugu Vairagya, is prohibited. Bhaktirasamrita Sindhu 1-256 says, Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vashtuna mumukshubi parityago vairagyam phalgu katyate. When sadhakas who desire liberation renounce that which is related to Sri Hari, such as the scriptures, the deity, the holy name, Mahaprashadam, the spiritual master, and Vaishnavas, considering them to be material, their renunciation is called futile renunciation, or Phalgu Vairagya, and this is unfavorable for bhakti. So there is no commentary of Srila Gurudeva for this verse. Text 25. One who is qualified to chant the holy names gives up all fruitive activities. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.41 says, one who has taken complete shelter of Bhagavan Mukunda, who is affectionate towards the surrendered, is not indebted to the demigods, to his forefathers, to ordinary living entities, or to relatives and guests. He is not subordinate to anyone other than Sri Mukunda, nor is he their servant. So those who are doing pure bhakti, they are no longer indebted to any other types of mundane relationships. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva Bhajana Rahasya. The performance of the Shraddha ceremony and other material activities meant to absolve one's debts to the forefathers, as presented in the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, is not for devotees surrendered to the Supreme Lord. The only injunction for these devotees is to worship Sri Bhagavan, offer Bhagavat Prasada to the forefathers, and accept Bhagavat Prasada with friends and relatives. So here, it's a very important point to understand. When the verse says that we no need to perform Shraddha to the forefathers, he's talking about Karma Shraddha, okay? Not the Vaishnava Shraddha. The ceremony of Shraddha or Pinda, that means we are going to offer Mahaprasada to the person who has expired, and then we are giving him bhakti. So this is beneficial. So the ultimate purport of the entire Bhagavad Gita is that the Supreme Lord will liberate from all sins those who have surrendered unto him and given up their reliance on all other dharmas. When a person acquires the qualification for exclusive devotion, he is not obliged to follow the injunctions of scriptures dealing with empiric knowledge, means jnana, and fruitive activities, karma, for he will attain all perfection simply by cultivating bhakti. So therefore, one should understand that Bhagavan's promise in Bhagavad Gita 9:31, Name bhakta pranashyati, my devotees never perishes, is placed above all the other instructions. Text 26. The Padma Purana states that one should give up niyamagraha and follow the essence of all injunctions. Smartavya satatam vishnur vishmartavyo najatuchit sarve vidhi nishedasur ittayoreva kinkaraha. One should always remember Vishnu and never forget him. All other rules and prohibitions are subservient to these two principles. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva, Bhajana Rahasya. All of the various rules and prohibitions of Shastra are established on the basis of the above stated main rule and prohibition. The main injunction is that throughout one's whole life, one should always remember Bhagavan Shri Vishnu. Varnashrama and other arrangements that are made to maintain one's life are subordinate to this rule. The main prohibition is that one should never forget the Supreme Lord. To abandon sinful activities, to give up indifference to Sri Bhagavan, and to atone for sins are subordinate to this principal injunction and this principal prohibition. So, the main advice is to always remember Vishnu, and the main prohibition is to never forget Vishnu. So hence all the rules and prohibitions mentioned in the scriptures are perpetual servants of the rule to always remember the Supreme Lord and to never forget him. So these rules are eternal. Text 27. Do not endeavor to perform activities such as atoning for sins through karma and jnana. The Padma Purana says, that wretched person who commits seva aparad at the lotus feet of Sri Hari can become freed from his offense if he takes shelter of the holy name. Every kind of aparad is nullified by service to the holy name. All perfection is attained by chanting the holy name without anarthas. Keep in mind one's relationship with the Supreme Lord. Such chanting must be continuous and uninterrupted, like an unbroken stream of oil. So there is no commentary of Srila Gurudeva for this verse. But here the verse says very clear that if you want to purify yourself from any sins or offenses, the best thing is to chant the holy names. Now text 28. Everyone should endeavor to attain knowledge of Shri Krishna, means Krishna Swarupa, and oneself, Atma Swarup. One first attains knowledge of Shri Krishna's form and qualities, and then his pastimes. Chatushloki Bhagavata 2.9.33 states, Aham vivasam vivagre nanyad yat sadasat param paschadaham yat etacha yovashishitta sosmiyaham. The Supreme Lord said to Brahma, before the creation of this world, only I existed. The gross and the subtle, up to the indefinable Brahma. In other words, the cause, Sat, and the effect, Asat, did not exist. Nothing other than I existed. What is manifested in the form of creation is also I. After creation, it is also I. And after annihilation, only I will remain. So the commentary of Srila Gurudeva, Bhajana Rahasya Vritti. In this text, the words Aham Eva, meaning certainly I, are used 3 times. This is because Sri Bhagavan is eternally present since time immemorial, in his form endowed with all opulence. One time for past, one time for present, one time for future. Bhagavan has used the words certainly I 3 times to refute the doctrine of persons who consider Parabrahma to be without form. The implied meaning is, now I am present before you as a great ocean of supremely captivating beauty, qualities, and sweetness. I was also present before this creation, or in other words, at the time of the Mahapralaya, the annihilation of the universe at the end of Brahma's life. At that time, Bhagavan was performing all his activities, not only the act of creating the material world, consisting of the 5 elements. His eternal, confidential pastimes, as well as his associates, who are assistants in his pastimes, were also existing. At the time of the Mahapralaya, the material universes are destroyed, but Bhagavan's transcendental pastimes and his various forms, abodes, and intimate associates are all eternally existent. So why Gurudev is mentioning this? Because the Mayavadis, they think that the form of God is a product of when Brahma and Maya are mixed together. So they say that Ishvara is the result of Brahma mixed with Maya. So the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna, they are like imaginary. They are not eternal. They only manifest when there is the material world manifested. So therefore, Krishna says very clear, even before and after this universe, I exist, along with my pastimes, my qualities, and my form. So now continue with the commentary. The Supreme Lord is present both before and after the creation. The entire material world is the manifestation of his Bahiranga Shakti, and the living entity is his Tatashta Shakti. Therefore, this material world is not separate from him. Sri Bhagavan is situated in unlimited Vaikuntha planets, in his form complete with the 6 opulences. In the material world, he is present as the Super Soul, Paramatma, and he appears as Matsya and other incarnations when there is a need. According to the Mayavadis, only the impersonal Brahma existed at first. So to defeat this doctrine, Sri Bhagavan says to Brahma, beyond the cause and effect is the supreme entity Brahma. But that Brahma is nothing other than me. Few people can perceive my personal form, replete with transcendental pastimes. They can only realize the impersonal form, Nirvishesha Swarup. You, however, can apprehend my form, full of transcendental beauty and all qualities, by my blessings and mercy. So it means that only by Krishna's mercy you can realize that he is the Supreme Lord. Now text 29. Knowledge of the intrinsic natures of Jiva Shakti and Maya Shakti is found in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.34. It says, the Supreme Absolute Truth, Parama Tattva, is the only real truth. One should understand that which is seen to be separated from this truth, or not existing within it, to be the product of the Supreme Absolute Truth's illusory energy, Maya. The following example demonstrates this. Paramatattva can be compared to the sun, which is an object consisting of light. The sun is experienced in 2 other forms, its reflection and also darkness. Similarly, in regard to the absolute truth, reflection pertains to the living entities, Jiva Shakti, and darkness to the material world, Maya Shakti. So when it says darkness, it means shadow. So you can see also the form of the sun as his shadow, for example. Because whatever object comes in front of the sun, automatically a shadow is projected behind that object. So when Krishna creates the material universe, automatically there is a shadow present there. So therefore, the verse says the darkness of the material world, this is Maya Shakti. Now the commentary of Srila Gurudeva, Bhajana Rahasya. Although the Jiva and Maya are both dependent on the Supreme Lord, a person does not experience them while he is directly experiencing Bhagavan. And while having experience of the Jiva and Maya, he will not experience Bhagavan. The intrinsic nature of the Supreme Absolute Truth, was ascertained in the previous text. The Jiva and Maya are separate from the Supreme Absolute Truth, Paramatattva. When a Jiva realizes Paramatattva, it is known as realized knowledge, Vijnana. The text 29 elaborates upon Maya Tattva. Paramatattva is the only real truth, and that which is experienced outside of Paramatattva is not within, it is the product of the illusory energy of the Absolute Truth. An example of this is seen in the sun, its reflection and darkness. A semblance of the sun is its reflection on water or on other things at dawn. This semblance does not exist without the sun. Similarly, Maya is only perceived when the creative energy of Sri Bhagavan is manifest, and its existence is destroyed at the time of annihilation. Without Bhagavan, Maya is not manifest. Where there is light, there can be no darkness. But darkness is also perceived through the eyes. In the same way, Maya cannot be perceived on its own without the help of the Supreme Lord. The transcendental world, Chit Jagat, is herein compared with the rays of the sun, the Supreme Lord. Using the same analogy, the living entities are compared to the reflection of Bhagavan, and the material world is compared with darkness. The material realm is very far from Bhagavan, the transcendental truth. There are two kinds of relationship between Paramatattva and Maya Tattva. That which is experienced as separate from the Absolute Truth is Maya, and that which is very far from the Absolute Truth and ignorance of it is also Maya. In this way, by carefully explaining the inherent nature of himself, the living entity and Maya, Sri Bhagavan explains Sambandha Tattva to Lord Brahma. This is a very simple subject, but yet, if not properly understood, then you can become incapable of having the proper realization. And when the verse says that Maya is like darkness, like shadow, because Maya is a byproduct of the sun of Bhagavan, we can understand that the Mayavadis, they will believe that we are also Bhagavan, but how this Bhagavan can be covered by Maya, which is byproduct of Bhagavan. The only Maya who can delude Bhagavan, this is called Yoga Maya, not Mahamaya. But Jogmaya makes Krishna thinks he is not God, and Mahamaya make you think you are God. So both are causing a great delusion. Vancha kalpatarvesha kripa sindhuvevacha patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavibhyo. Hare Krishna.